Hello everyone. In this session, we'll be talking about a line chart and specifically we'll be talking about the continuous line chart. A line chart, often referred as to a continuous chart, is a fundamental data visualization that displays the data points as a series of data markers connected by a straight line. It's an excellent choice for visualizing the data trends over a continuous range, such as time, and it is useful to understand how the weight value changes and evolves over the time. In a line chart, the horizontal axis typically represents a continuous scale, such as time or a numerical range, while the vertical axis represents the values or measures you want to visualize. Data points are plotted along the horizontal axis at their respective time or numeric values, and line connect these points to illustrate the trend. During our practical demonstration in Tableau, we will explore how to create the line charts to visualize and analyze these data trends effectively. You will also learn how to assign the dimensions and measures to appropriate axes, customize the labels and colors for the clarity, and also apply some smoothing techniques to emphasize the trends of fluctuations. Whether you are visualizing the stock prices over time or temperature changes or any data set with continuous data points, line chart can provide the clear and intuitive way to convey the data trends and patterns. So let's go to the Tableau screen and see how we can create this kind of chart. We are in our Tableau canvas, and in the Show Me menu, the first line chart we have with us is the continuous line chart. Now, for this continuous line chart, you need one date or zero or more dimensions and one or more measures. That means that we have to find any value which is having date in it. So if I look at the columns, I know that right now I'm having two columns with the order date and shipping date, which are having these kind of properties, which are date related properties. So I have order date as well as a shipping date. I can take these in the x-axis and see the trends going on with respect to our different measures such as the sales, profit, quantity, and what are the discounts that are being offered. Let's say I'm taking the order date and the sales that are happening over the period of these order dates. Now, to visualize it in the form of a line chart, since right now it is in the form of a text table, I'll go in the Show Me menu and click on the line chart. This will make my chart in the continuous line form. Now, how do I know it is a continuous form? The first thing to notice is whenever you are making any continuous type of line chart in the Tableau, the color over here for that particular column, which is the order date column or the shipping date column or any date related column, would be green in nature. And if it is a discrete one that we will be talking about in the next picture, it would be blue in nature. So this is one of the things. The other thing to notice over here is it is continuously increasing. The data points are completely connected to each other. So this is also another kind of indication. Whenever you are talking about these values, right now, since I'm talking about the order date, my data set contains the dates from 2011 to 2040. So it is showing me a continuous trend and it is connecting all the data points from the past also. If you don't want to see the year-wise trend, what you can do is you can hover over here and see there is this plus icon. You can click on this plus icon and this would change the yearly values to the quarterly values. And over here also you can see all the quarters are listed. Starting from 2011 quarter 1 all the way to 2014 quarter 4. Or I have all the values of all the quarters in a year. So typically I have four values for each year that represents each quarter. Now for quarter 1, I have the lowest sales or the sales starting point, which is 3,35,780. And as I move towards the time, I can see that the sales increases and at a point it reaches the maximum and then again it decreases. And this type of trend is continuing over every year. Year by year, this thing is happening. So with the help of line chart, I can easily identify these kind of things. If you don't want to see the quarterly data, you can again click on the plus icon. This time it will give you the monthly data. So this is the other way of looking at the data. If you want to look at the month-wise data, this can be your solution. If I again click on it, it will drill me down towards the weekly data. And the last part would make me drill down in the daily data. Now, how to roll back to the previous option? Since I was looking at the daily data and previous to this, I was looking at the weekly data. To roll back, there are two options. If I try to click on the undo, you can go back. So again, click on the undo till you reach back. And if you don't want to use this method or you have applied too many steps in between these steps when you are changing the monthly data to the daily data, what you can do is here is this arrow icon. You can click on this arrow icon and over here, you can choose your desired time. For example, over here, if you look, there are two yearly values, two quarters, months, days, and there is one more option. Now, this upper value represents the discrete data. So if you are wanting any discrete data, this would be your solution. If you want to talk about the continuous data, you have to choose these values. For now, since we are dealing with the continuous line chart, so if I have to change it to the yearly data or the quarterly data, I'll be choosing it from this shelf, not from the this shelf. And you can see it has marked even this shelf. And also the other thing to notice is right now the continuous is on. instead of decrease. So it is not showing me the discrete data, it is showing me the continuous data. Over here, what I will do is I'll change it to yearly format. I can see the yearly trend rise. Now let's talk about a bit more formatting options available in this line. What if you want to see the markers? So for markers, I can go in the labels and I can switch on the show mark label options. And this would show me all the values that are present in that data. So over here, if I talk about the yearly data, every year is showing me a specific value and it is showing me the starting point. So over here, the starting point for 2011 is 22,59,450. And over here, it is showing me the end value. So let's say I want to convert it to the quarterly data. After converting it into the quarterly data, you can see now I have multiple data points over here. What if you don't want to see these multiple data points? Let's say I only want to see the maximum or minimum data point. What I'll do is I'll click on this label option. Over here, I have this minimum maximum option. I can click on this and it would only show me the minimum and the maximum value in my data points. If you want to see the other parts, let's say where the line ends, you can also click over here and it would show you the line end point. Let's keep it as all for now so we can see all the points over here. This was one of the formatting options available. Now, let's say I want to see the quarterly change, but I want to see it region wise. So for that, what I can do is I can double click on this region. This region would give me multiple lines and each line would represent a different kind of region. Now there are too many lines and it is too much to digest over here also. So what I'll do is I'll choose any different dimension over here. Let's say our shipping mode consists of least values. So I press Ctrl Z and over here I'll press shipping mode. This is just for the illustration purpose, and that's why we are using these kind of dimensions where we are having minimum values, so we don't get confused easily. Now I have these four shipping modes. For every shipping mode, I have this different line over here. But what if you want to show four lines over here instead of a single canvas holding these four lines? So the difference over here would be, let's say if I drag the shipping mode over here in the rows. Now you can see these rows have been divided into four different sections, and each section is showing me the different shipping mode. This is the other way if you want to do formatting. If you want to compare the formatting, that time what you will do is you will remove this shipping mode from the rows and all the shipping modes will be showing you in a single canvas space. Over here, this canvas space is being divided into the four parts. So this is the other way of choosing this kind of line. At any point of time, if you wish to choose a different color of this line, what you can do is you can go in the color option and over here you can choose edit color option. I have this legend over here on my right, which is showing me the different color for different line types. And over here also, it is showing me the same. I can double click on any day and I can choose a different color for it. Let's say I'm choosing the shade of pink for this. So it would show me that kind of color for that specific line. Now over here, what you can do is you can try to choose the minimum and maximum line if you are too confused about these things. And the good way to see with this would be remove the shipping mode and see it in a single canvas. Let's try to fit it inside the whole canvas. Suppose it is occupying the whole space and it is hard for you to view this. What you can do is you can even remove this card. Okay. Or you can stack it over here somewhere on the left. Now you would be able to see all the values. Over here, when you choose the minimum and maximum value, the thing to notice would be that for all the four lines, it is showing you the least value and the maximum value. It is not taking each line as a reference. So the minimum value would be shown from the any line specific to that which is making the minimum contribution, and the maximum would be shown from the line which is making the maximum contribution over here. This kind of things can be used to depict different kind of lines. Let's say if you want to change the pattern of these lines, you can also do it with the help of path option. After choosing the path option, you can try to change the line type. For now, I have this solid line. Let's try to change it into the dashed lines or change it to the dotted lines. You can do that. And now when you'll be having multiple data points, it would be easier for you to view these marks tables over here. In this way, you can create a line chart which is continuous in nature. So this was all for this lecture. In the next lecture, we will talk about how can we differentiate between a continuous line chart and discrete line chart and how to make that discrete line chart. Thank you.